Hi and welcome back to the day 14 of White Christmas tutorial series. This time I'm gonna be making a winter themed card with a vellum front panel. This card can also be backlit and used as a mantelpiece decoration. I'm also going to repurpose a Halloween stamp set to create this card. So without further ado, let's get started and see how it's done. I'm going to start with a standard card base 4¼ by 5½ inches, top folding. I'm using a cream cardstock, but white one will do just as fine. I will also be using this rectangle die. It's the third largest one from Nested Rectangles die set. I'm positioning it on my card front, taping it down, and then I'm going to send it through the die cutting machine to create an open frame. I will also use the same dies to create another frame of the same size. I will also need a vellum panel that is the same size as my card front. And here is how all the elements fit together. This panel should be placed between the frames later on. And as always, the tools and supplies I'm using will be listed on my blog and in the description. Now I'm positioning the vellum panel and the frame inside the stamping platform, and I'm going over the vellum with an anti-static pouch to prepare it for heat embossing. I mentioned earlier that my Halloween supplies arrived after the Halloween this year, but I really want to use them for Christmas, and while I have absolutely no ideas for Christmas jack-o'-lanterns, a house I think is something I can make work for any season. I'm positioning it on a card just where it should be, and then I'm closing up the lid. If you look closer at this image, you will notice that there are some small elements that just scream Halloween, and I'm just going to mask them off using the washi tape. Then I'm going to go all over the image with the Versamark ink, making sure it's inked really well, and then I go ahead and stamp the image. The embossing powder I'm going to use this time is Opaque Bright White by Wow. And by the way, I'm not even using superfine powder. Regular one will work just as fine. I'm using a brush to sweep off the powder that I don't need, and I'm also removing some small details that I don't need, like this grass here. And then I'm going to heat set the entire image. To create the horizon line, I'm going to use another background stamp by Holtz. So I'm masking off my house, positioning the stamp on top, and then I'm going to stamp this image again using Versamark ink. I don't need to stamp the entire image through really well. I only need a suggestion of that horizon. And again, I'm going to remove all the powder that I don't need with a brush. The last image I'm going to heat emboss is the word winter. It's from the stamp set by Memory Box. Before I go ahead and assemble the card, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'm using the orange pencil, it's by Prismacolor, to color in all the windows of the house, as well as the lantern at the entrance. Then I'm going to use the light gray color to color in all those small open areas. The areas I'm coloring are really small, so I have to make sure that the pencil is really sharp. I'm also going to darken up the area in front of the house a little bit. To make my card feel even more like winter, I'm going to use those die cuts. The die is called Wispy Pine Needle Corner. It's by Memory Box. So I'm using the liquid adhesive to attach the corners onto the frame. And now I am ready to assemble the card. I'm applying some double-sided tape all around the frame at the front of my card. And then I'm going to attach the vellum panel right on top of it. Then I'm applying the double-sided adhesive again at the wrong side of my pine needle frame, and then I'm placing it on top of the card front. This way my vellum piece will be trapped between the two frames. As a finishing touch, I'm going to use Uniball white gel pen to create the snow. I'm basically putting some dots here and there at the background. This pen is just great for writing on top of the vellum. I have a piece of black paper here, the same size as my card, and I have scored it at 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and this way I have created a little flap. I'm attaching it inside the card, and this way I can back up my vellum panel so that the embossed pattern stands out more, and also this way I have an opportunity to add the personal message inside the card. The front panel of my card is semi-transparent, and that means I can create some interesting effects by backlighting it. If I put a battery-driven candle behind the card, it will create this magical glow all around the house. So that was the tutorial for today. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the previous projects, and I hope to see you again really soon.